Warm welcome. This is Jadhav from Mechanical Department. Let me start with first lecture on Module 2. Students, first we will discuss what is an instantaneous center or a virtual center. Let me consider an animated image of an IC engine or a single slider crank mechanism. As we all know that an IC engine has four basic parts, that is cylinder, piston, connecting rod and crank. From the figure it is evident that piston will be having pure linear motion and crank will be having pure rotary motion about a fixed center. But when we consider a connecting rod, it will be having a combination of linear motion as well as a rotary motion. Hence, in case of a connecting rod, it is very difficult to find the angular velocity and angular acceleration. To overcome this problem, we will assume that connecting rod will be rotating about an imaginary point which is known as an instantaneous center. Hence, we can define an instantaneous center as it is an imaginary point about which the kinematic link is assumed to be rotating at that instant. Students, let me begin with first problem. Locate all the instantaneous centers for the following mechanism. As given in the figure, the mechanism is a 4-bar mechanism which is having 4 elements, that is element 1, element 2, 3 and 4, in which the first element is fixed. Let me begin with the solution. We can solve the given problem in 4 steps. Step number 1. Determine the number of instantaneous centers, that is capital N, by using the relation n is equal to n into bracket n minus 1 divided by 2, where small letter n indicates number of links and capital N indicates number of instantaneous centers for the given mechanism. Since number of links present in the mechanism are 4, we'll get number of instantaneous centers as 6. Step number 2. Make a list of all the instantaneous centers in a mechanism. By using a method known as bookkeeping method, we can list all the instantaneous centers present in a mechanism. That is I12, I13, I14, I23, I24 and I34. Students, as discussed in the bookkeeping method, it is evident that we need to find 6 instantaneous centers. From the figure we can say that I12 and I14 are considered as fixed instantaneous centers because they are the part of fixed element, that is element 1. Then we need to find I23 and I34, which are known as permanent instantaneous centers. Then we need to find I13 and I24, which are known as neither fixed nor permanent instantaneous centers. Step number 3. In this step, we can locate the fixed and permanent instantaneous centers by visual inspection. That is, we can locate I12, I23, I34 and I14 by visual inspection. Students, let me explain how to locate the fixed and permanent instantaneous centers by visual inspection. The pin joint between element 1 and element 2 is considered as instantaneous center I12. The pin joint between element 2 and element 3 is considered as instantaneous center I23. Similarly, the pin joint between element 3 and element 4 is considered as instantaneous center I34. Finally, the pin joint between element 4 and element 1 is considered as instantaneous center I14. By visual inspection, we found the 4 instantaneous centers, that is I12, I23, I34 and I14. Then we will locate the remaining 2 instantaneous centers, that is I13 and I24. Students, in step number 4, we will locate the remaining neither fixed nor permanent instantaneous centers by using Arnold-Kennedy's theorem. Let me explain the procedure to indicate the remaining instantaneous centers in further slides. To locate the remaining 2 instantaneous centers, first we will draw a circle as shown in the figure. Then indicate 4 points on the circumference of the circle, that is 1, 2, 3, 4. Connect all these 4 points with straight lines as shown in the figure. These 4 straight lines indicates 4 instantaneous centers, that is I12, I23, I34 and I14. To locate the 5th instantaneous center, that is I13, we will join point 1 and point 3 with a dotted line as shown in the figure. From the figure we can say that the dotted line 1, 3 is part of 2 triangles, that is triangle 1, 2, 3 and triangle 1, 4, 3. From the upper triangle, that is 1, 2, 3, we can say that the instantaneous center I13 is present on the extension of I12 and I23. Then we will draw a dotted line passing through instantaneous center I12 and I23 as shown in the figure. Similarly, the instantaneous center I13 is also a part of lower triangle, that is 1, 4, 3. From the figure it is clear that the instantaneous center I13 is also present on the extension of I14 and I34. Then draw a dotted line passing through I14 and I34 as shown in the figure. Therefore, the instantaneous center I13 lies on the intersection of the line joining points I12, I23 and I34, I14 as shown in the figure. Students, we can locate the final instantaneous center I24 by following the same methods as followed in case of instantaneous center I13. Join point 2 and point 4 with a dotted line as shown in the figure. This dotted line 2, 4 indicates the instantaneous center I24. From the figure, it is evident that the instantaneous center I24 is part of 2 triangles, that is triangle 1, 2, 4 and triangle 2, 3, 4. From the lower triangle 2, 3, 4, it is clear that the instantaneous center I24 lies on the extension of I23 and I34. Hence, draw a dotted line passing through instantaneous center I34 and I23 as shown in the figure. From the upper triangle 1, 2, 4, we can say that the instantaneous center I24 lies on the extension of I12 and I14. Draw a dotted line passing through the instantaneous center I14 and I12 as shown in the figure. Therefore, the instantaneous center I24 lies on the intersection of line joining points I23, I34 and I12, I14 as shown in the figure. Students, finally we located all the 6 instantaneous centers, that is I12, I23, I34, I13, I24 and I14.